is the American dream and who is entitled to it? Illegal immigration seems always in the news. I marveled at several recent headlines. I'm Addi Banks, and this is my report. Once again, Americans are warned to brace for the next migrant caravan. June 3rd, 2022, U.S. immigration headline reads, up to 15,000 may join largest ever migrant caravan to walk through Mexico to the United States. The picture shows mostly young men smiling and seemingly unharassed in appearance. And as far as the camera's eye can be seen, are people in this caravan. In another story, global development, supported by Bill and Melinda Gates, the headline reads, risking it all. Migrants brave Darien Gap in pursuit of the American dream. This was reported on April 28, 2022. Jose and Catherine are seen in a picture with their 7-month-old child, smiling and saluting with the V for victory sign. They have walked and hitchhiked hundreds of miles. They crossed a knee-deep river and scrambled up a muddy slope in the sweltering heat. But the worst of their journey is yet to come. Ahead of them lies one of the most dangerous border crossings in the world, the Darien Gap, a lawless, roadless region of mountainous jungle, venomous snakes, fast-flowing rivers, and murderous drug traffickers that connect South and Central America. According to the official data from the Panama government shared with The Guardian, more than 13,000 people illegally crossed from Colombia to Panama via the Darien Gap in the first 3 months of 2022. Nearly triple the number during the same period last year. About 133,000 people made the journey in 2021, the highest on record for any year by far. There is serious concern that the numbers could go up very significantly, says Michelle Klein-Solomon, Regional Director for the UN's International Organization for Migration. We don't see this abating. Many of the migrants are robbed, raped, and murdered by traffickers and armed groups. Women sometimes give birth along the way. About a quarter of those making the journey are children, most of them under 5 years old. There's no such thing as a safe ride through the Darien, says Solomon. At least 51 people died crossing the region in 2021. She also added, we know that's a very significant underestimate. Not far behind the Venezuelans, a group of about 20, are 7 people from Haiti, including 3 children between 1 and 3 years old. Schiller Rebbe spent 3 years working on construction sites in Brazil to raise enough money for the trek north with his family. He says, Haiti is in many crises, economic crisis, a presidential crisis. We don't have work. We can't earn money to eat. to pay for school. They hope to reach Mexico and then maybe the United States. We hope all this effort isn't in vain, says Catherine, hoisting her backpack again and checking on her baby. To have the opportunity to get ahead, to work, to give the kids a good future. That's the most important thing, right? Is it the most important thing that demands risk of life to get to America? The answer is in the numbers and their chances to succeed as reported back home by those living the dream. Vice President Kamala Harris at the Summit of the Americas, with Mexico boycotted, said on Tuesday that we must work on the root causes of this migrant crisis. She announced that a total of $3.2 billion in commitments from private sector companies had been secured for this purpose. In her speech on Wednesday, she gave a hypothetical of a single mother in Honduras with no education who then benefits from a job from a beverage company invested in the region, combined with an aid program giving her children lunch and a financial company opening a bank account for her. In turn, a telecommunications company invested in internet in the hypothetical woman's town, and the United States Agency for International Development gives her a grant to establish an eco-tourism business, which in turn grows and allows her to hire employees. Harris said, "This story illustrates what I believe is possible when governments and businesses truly integrate our approach. This scenario is then our vision for millions of people as part of our strategy to address the root causes of migration from Central America." However, Vice President Harris, if you turn the page and read what the dream allows, there is perceived better life away from home. Hypothetical dreams don't address crisis conditions now. The biggest impediment to success in stemming illegal immigration are the chances of actually living the dream, because there are chances of rewards, sympathizers, and activists in place to sanctuary them into the dream. The happy photos coming from America, the money sent home, free education, food, medical attention, and welcoming enclaves. Let's be honest. Americans may complain, but if we lived in Haiti or Venezuela and the hundreds of countries where people choose to risk death to get here, what would we do? Vice President Harris, can the daughter of two immigrant parents really not understand about getting to America? But what are the costs? From World Population Review, the report is thus: cost of immigration, illegal immigration by state 2022. What is this, June? Bear with me, the list is long. First, California, 21.76 billion. New York, 9.48 billion. Texas, 6.68 billion. Florida, 5.45 billion. Illinois, 4.59 billion. New Jersey, 3.48 billion. Arizona, 2.57 billion. Georgia, 2.40 billion. North Carolina, 2.06 billion. Virginia, 1.91 billion. Massachusetts, 1.86 billion. Maryland, 1.72 billion. Washington, 1.51 billion. Colorado, 1.45 billion. Pennsylvania, 1.38 billion. Nevada, 1.19 billion. Now we get to the millions. Connecticut, 957 million. Michigan, 929 million. Wisconsin, 883 million. Minnesota, 744 million. Oregon, 705 million. New Mexico, 608 million. Indiana, 608 million. Ohio, 563 million. Tennessee, 547 million. Oklahoma, 465 million. Utah, 453 million. Kansas, 442 million. South Carolina, 391 million. Iowa, 350 million. Delaware, 305 million. Alabama, 298 million. Kentucky, 280 million. Rhode Island, 278 million. Nebraska, 262 million. Arkansas, 244 million. Louisiana, 224 million. Idaho, 188 million. Hawaii, 155 million. Alaska, 139 million. New Hampshire, 123 million. Mississippi, 106 million. Wyoming, 51 million. Maine, 41 million. Vermont, 38 million. South Dakota, 33 million. North Dakota, 32 million. Montana, 32 million. West Virginia, 31 million. And Missouri, no numbers available. Benevolent? Perhaps. But what else should these funds be used for to ensure better life for citizens, particularly in an economy in shambles? As though this was not bad enough, consider human nature. People own their space, be that space a town, a community, a city, or a nation, and they resent others taking from them. It can, unfortunately, open doors to hate crimes. Nobody wants this, and therefore we must work to prevent this. Our government and every government understands this, and therefore, when they do not enforce immigration laws, they become complicit in the resentment and the violence that may result by ignoring human nature. Every nation is mandated to take care of their people, to educate them, provide a thriving economy, to infuse loyalty and commitments to build and defend. Yes, by sending them across the border, it decreases education budgets and inspires more remittances. But the long-term drain inspires more than they bargained for, eventually they will become Americans. If you love your homeland, serve her at home.